Hey guys, I got a good video for you today. I'm going to show you a new part you probably haven't seen before and do something to a Saiga 308 I haven't seen done before. Before we get started, let's get into that. This is a video I've been wanting to make for about 4 months, mostly because I've been waiting for a couple of the parts. With the gun buying craze that went on for a while, it was hard to get any of them. But I got them today. Actually got them about 20 minutes ago. And I got that set up, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. So this is my Saiga 308 rifle. You guys have seen it. It's on other videos of mine. It's very rapidly becoming one of my favorite rifles. I built it kind of like a designated marksman rifle and put a scope on it that lets it do basically be between a battle rifle and a designated marksman rifle, giving it capabilities of both a red dot and a 6-power optic. Yeah, I haven't made any major changes since you guys have seen it. Still uses the standard factory 4N with a Picatinny rail installed on it. 20 round mags. I did swap out the pistol grip for this, I think it's a combat arms or command arms, I can't remember, pistol grip. I really like it. I've had it on other AKs and I really like it, so I put it on my Saiga. Still the same Leatherwood CMR. The one thing I didn't like about how I had it set up before was, well, when I got this Texas dogleg style dust cover, it raised the optic up pretty high, and with the way an AK is designed, where it's supposed to be put your face to the standard sights, the stock actually angles down pretty far, and I couldn't get a real good cheek weld on my optic, so I wasn't really getting as accurate shots as I wanted. So I went for this cheek riser setup that I kind of ghetto rigged, and frankly it sucked. The cheek riser slid all the time when I was shooting, no matter how tight I tried to make it, and the fabric would actually grab and pull hairs out of my face. And I'm not kidding, it really would grab and pull out. It hurt to use. So I knew that was going to go, and I had basically been waiting to get its replacement. Now, what I wanted was some type of designated marksman style stock. The problem is the ones I saw for AKs all sucked. They were ugly, they looked like they were poorly made, they looked airsofty, I didn't like them. And then I started looking for ARs. Now putting an AR stock in an AK is easy, everybody's probably done it by now. Heck, my other AK, you guys have seen it, I use a Voltor adapter to do that. So that's not a problem. The problem is that I wanted a designated marksman style stock for an AK. And then I found the stock that I really wanted, which was the Magpul PRS Precision Rifle Stock, which you guys will see right here. Great stock. People with AR-10s tend to really like it, and accuracy models really like it. It's Magpul, so it's well built. So I was like, great, this is the stock I want. How am I going to attach this to my AK? Well, if it was a collapsible stock, it'd be a piece of cake. But this isn't a collapsible stock. This uses a standard buffer tube, which I will show you here in just a second. Hey, here we go. This is a standard buffer tube for the rifle for the non-collapsible stocks. So here was my problem. I had the stock I wanted, and I knew how to get it on there. But the problem is there's not a whole lot of ways to put a fixed non-collapsible stock on an AK. I rummaged all through the internet, and I couldn't find anything that looked like it was going to work. I saw a part made by UTG that was polymer that stuck out to about here, and you screwed the stock in. It looked goofy, and it looked like it wouldn't last 10 minutes. I saw a couple places that had folding ones. Some of them you had to cut off the tang, some of you didn't want, but I didn't really want a folding stock. I wanted a fixed stock. So I spent a long time on the internet, and finally, some of you guys know Chris Cosa, and a couple of the guys over at Magpul started their own company and partnered up with a company called Rifle Dynamics. And Rifle Dynamics came up with this part. This basically goes around the tang, attaches, and it lets you put on an AR-15 buffer tube. Now the thing with this is that it lets you put on the floor plate for an AR-15. So if you've got like one of those Magpul, you know, in the rear swivels and such, this would work on it, which is what they wanted. They wanted the AR-15 rear floor plate because they've got all those nice adapters and stuff like that. So I looked at that and I said, well, hey, if I put a buffer tube in there and slide a standard A20 stock over it, it's got the notch right here for it, that should fit. So, sorry, I got interrupted for a second. Anyway, I called Rifle Dynamics, and I can't remember who I talked to, but I talked to a guy on the other end of the phone who was really friendly, and I told him what I was doing, and the guy says, oh yeah, we've got a Saiga 308, we've done a lot of work too. I said, okay, well here's what I want to do, and I think this part will work. And he says, well, I can't guarantee you it will work, because we haven't done it, but we have used the exact same setup you have on a Magpul UBR, which basically is a collapsible stock for a fixed buffer tube. If you, I'll show you a picture of what it looks like. And he goes, this uses the same setup. It slides on a standard buffer tube. So he goes, so if the UBR works, I don't see any reason why your PRS wouldn't work. And I said, okay, so this is the part I ordered. You guys saw it earlier. And this was actually the first part I got. I've been waiting on the stock and buffer tube for 4 months. So today, we're going to take that stock off and get rid of that crappy setup and put this nice, nifty, spiffy Magpul stock on there. And that should probably finish up this rifle. And I get the feeling I'm going to like this. So let me move some of the stuff out of the way, take this mag out, clear this weapon, and let's get started. Alright, I got the rear stock out. If you're curious how to do that, it's just held in with 2 screws here. Just take the 2 screws out. You might need to get you a screwdriver to push against the old stock and just tap it out with a mallet. It comes right out. So let me double check the instructions here and make sure I got this right, and we'll get started. Alright, instructions look short and pretty simple. Looks like I put the L bracket on first, which is this part here. And attaches with some screws into the tang. So I'll go ahead and get that lined up. So I get it out of the package. There's the screws. And it looks like it just slides under the rifle tang like that. I hope you guys can see that. It's kind of dark in here, but get you close. I don't know why this thing has such a hissy fit when I zoom in. Anyway, looks like there's your standard tang. It looks like the part just slides in and screws in right there. I'm going to use this part. I've got some blue Loctite and some red Loctite. Now, this part I'm going to use the red because I do not want this part to come out ever. I don't think I'm going to break it. You could probably use blue, but I'm going to be really anal with this. And I'm going to use red, so I'm going to put it in and tighten it up. It uses Allen screws, so I got my Allen screws out. Let me put that in and we'll show you how it looks. Before I get too started in this, I did have these Allen screws, or key, whatever you call them. Now I'm using these because somebody put this in customary and didn't leave it in metric. Normally I don't care. I'm a metric person. I grew up working on Hondas and Japanese cars, so I like metric a lot better. It's what everybody else uses. It's kind of irritating that they would use customary screws as most people use metric on guns. But just so you know, you'll have to use customary. I'm using a, I think this is a 3x32 Allen key to get this sucker in here. Okay, we got that in. It was pretty easy. I really wish, I don't know why I can't get any more light. I may move the light, or it may just be me not being able to see. But it just attached to the bottom of the tang. Went in pretty easy. Screws are nice and heavy duty. Should have 2 screws on the bottom like that. And it looks like the next part here, I love to do this as we're going, guys, but I don't have a gun vise, and trying to hold this gun and do this at the same time is kind of a pain. I'm going to make sure that this side with the area here is on the outside, and it looks like it simply slides over and screws in, and the buffer tube will screw around. So we're going to attach it this way and try it out. I'm probably going to use red Loctite on these just to make sure they don't back out, and then everything else should probably be blue Loctite. You could probably do it all in blue, but I'm going to be careful with this one. So I'm going to put this in and see how it goes. Okay. You know what? Now I'm getting my, you know what grinds my gears? When you have something you're putting together and you have some of the screws be customary, some of the screws be metric. About to put this in, and guess what? This is a metric size hole in these. Really, Rifle Dynamics? Now you're just annoying me. So anyway, let's get started here. Okay. Other than them screwing with me with the metric, non-metric system, went on pretty well. As you can see, the tang sticks right through the middle, so the buffer tube's going to go around that. Okay, one thing is, this is my fault. This is buffer tube, It fits inside there. I tried okay, but I can't remember if the stock's going to go like this or if it's going to go like this. I got to know so I can screw this in. So I got to take the back of the stock apart, which looks really easy, and make sure of that before I thread this on here so I don't have to tighten it and loosen it and tighten it and try and figure out which way it's supposed to fit in the stock. So let's get to that real quick. Okay, unfortunately you can't see into the back to actually check which way it is, but you can just stick it in there. It's a very tight fit, and jiggle it around until it goes in. Luckily mine lined right up, so all I had to do was just slide it on and push real hard and it went right in. Now, my buffer tube didn't come with the screw, but Magpul was really nice and sent me one. So now that I've got this out, and the back, well, if you're just wondering, which is held on with a couple of short screws, I'm going to put the back on. I'm going to put this screw in. I'm going to blue Loctite it because I might damage the stock and I may want to remove it later. I doubt it, but I might. So I'm going to blue Loctite this in and screw this on and put the back together, and we'll tighten it up and see how she goes. Kind of iffy on the tightening here as I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to tighten this sucker on to this receiver as it gradually goes in. I may have to fiddle with it because it kind of has to line up. So I don't know. I'm going to think of something. I may try and take it back out and just hope I can get it lined up again, because I'm not trying to figure out how I'm supposed to turn this thing and get this this teeth to line up, or this tooth to line up here with the inside. So I think I'm going to take the buffer tube back out. I'll fiddle with it and figure out what I'm going to do here. Alright, I ended up taking the tube back out, and it looks like it screws in place. I don't have to lock it down. I did forget about that from the collapsible stock. So all I have to do is just going to give it a good tap to line it up there, get that gap sealed up, and screw it in, and we should be good to go. Oh yeah, it's looking sweet. Got it put on there. Everything went really well, actually, apart from me being a derp and putting the buffer tube in the stock and having to take it out, which just gotta grab a pair of pliers and pull it out. That's my fault for being retarded. Screw went back in there. Everything lined up perfect. So now I've got a really nice precision rifle stock on my Saiga 308. That gap right there is just part of the part of the design on these AR-15 stocks. I went and looked. It's on my M16A2 on the fixed stock, so that's just some carryover from the AR-15 design. The buffer tubes run underneath of that, so it doesn't hurt anything. The Rifle Dynamics adapter is aircraft aluminum. It's real solid. When I was screwing it in, I greased up the threads a little bit, but it's real well made. So looks like it's going to hold up to any kind of smacking around I can throw at it. The nice part is now that the stock goes straight back, it's pretty much lined up with my face. I won't have to put much rise on this cheek riser right here, or comb adjuster, whatever you want to call it. So looking forward to the next range trip. It looks pretty badass. I like the way it looks a lot, so it definitely helped it over this thing. This stock is going to get pitched. It's seen its life. I may keep the cheek riser and see if I can do something with it, but don't really know. So anyway, if you want to put a Magpul PRS stock on your AK, that's the best way I've seen how to do it. If you want to make it folding, there's some out there. I wouldn't recommend a folding stock unless you've got a gun that's designed for it. Otherwise, your stock will flop around. It does add a little bit more weight to an already fat gun, but let's face it, this ain't no lightweight carbine. This is a battle rifle. It's going to be heavy. So what's next? Well, the next thing that I'll be doing to it is finding a sling. It's got some of these mounts where you can thread a sling through, but I don't really have any place to attach it. But I've got some space on that Picatinny rail up on the bipod, so I may try and do it there. I can also drill into the side of this handguard and put a little piece of Picatinny rail for a QD Picatinny mount. So that'll be the next thing. That'll be in the future. I probably won't film that unless it's some really involved project. Other than that, eventually I would like to probably get the front sight removed. If not, I'm going to definitely have them put a flash hider on it, because this thing shoots out a hell of a flash. It has a lot of concussion, but really I got to cut down that flash. It kind of hampers the follow-up shots. So let me know what you guys think. I hope you like it. Haven't seen anybody else do this before. Rifle Dynamics dude actually said that he wanted a picture when I got all done. He was curious what it looked like. So I'm going to send him some nice pictures and some video. Maybe it'll be on their website. I don't know. But, you know, if my guns don't shoot as better as others, I sure do build them well. I think they look awesome. So anyway, I'll see you guys later.